Right, obviously some defensive struggles, but I mean, what did you think about the shots that you guys were getting? And I mean, especially with D'Angelo, it looks like he's in maybe a little bit of a funk right now.
I mean, our shot selection, our where we got our shots in terms of being in the paint and threes is what we want. We want more makes than we had. I mean, I thought we got a lot of good looks. I thought early shots didn't fall, and then that kind of carried over to a poor defensive first half, and ultimately a poor shooting night for us.
The way that they got so many layups early and get out and in transition is, I mean, to be at home and come out kind of flat like that, is that a concern right now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it is, but that's a really good transition team, and we got to do a better job of communicating in transition, but we got to find a way to not come out flat like that.
On the defensive end, especially with that first half, is this still communication stuff, or do you just need more from guys on that end of the court?
Both. But communication, I mean, it's not going to be something that's overnight, in a lot of ways. I mean, it's, it feels like these games come quick, and, I see you guys a good amount, and you see us, but it's, it's still a short period of time, so I mean, you want to say that it's communication, but to your other point though, it is a lot. We need more as a group, just defensive mindset, and sticking to our defensive game plan. When things go maybe not our way, and with a younger group, that's a learning process. I thought we did it. I thought we did it earlier in the week in New Orleans earlier for the most part down the stretch, and then that Chicago game. So we got some good tests coming up here where we can grow.
On that aspect, it seems like this is the first time this group is kind of facing a dejection challenge, of being they've always been able to at least fight their way through something, and this being a point where after two solid wins, maybe expectations went up. And after two rough games, are you a little bit worried about some of the new guys getting acclimated into trying to feeling like fighting through this, how they fight through this?
No, I'm not, because I know the character of that locker room. I know the character of the individuals. It's our communication, our one-on-one talks, whether it be with myself, with Gerson, or with other coaches each day. It's not just guys who have been here. It's the new guys, and I'm not worried about these guys being dejected or anything. But after losing, we're competitors. You are dejected in a way, but you got to pick yourself back up the next day, find a way to get better.
Ryan, I believe teams were 0 for 6 combined in the mid-range today. Have you ever seen a game with 0 mid-range points? And additionally, if you guys are trying to force teams to shoot those shots, what's going wrong there?
Yeah. I've not seen a game like that. I knew our mid-range was, our shot selection. That's why I alluded to being, shots at the rim as well as threes, being a positive for us. But with us, we're allowing teams to get to the basket too much is our main issue right now, and I think that's containing on the perimeter. That's stopping the ball in pick and rolls, and that's having better pursuit as a group in pick and rolls. But we're containing the slot drive too right now is something that we have to improve upon.
I guess that with D'Angelo from the mid-range, he was kind of shooting those a lot right away at the beginning, and you talked about how that would kind of be a balance over time. Is that just kind of the natural flow of the game where those shots aren't coming from him, or are you really proactively trying to push him into getting to the rim or from three? Yeah,
that's something we believe. It's something we believe, and we'll continue to. We haven't changed our beliefs, and what we feel is good for this team in the long run too. And it's sometimes it's taking what the defense gives you, because D'Angelo is an above-average mid-range shooter. But it's something that we're working on as a group.
And with Jake, I remember you and Gerson both kind of talking about him at the first chunk of the season saying he's somebody who can make this team go. And obviously it's a different team now. Is that still Jake? Does his job change in a new landscape?
No, it doesn't change. But I thought Jake made great. I thought he played well tonight, offensively, defensively. I thought he looked in a rhythm. His flow was better. Jake was out for a long time too, so you don't want to put all that on him. Right when he comes back.
Brian, when it comes to D'Angelo and somebody who's a prolific scorer going through a bit of a slump, how do you kind of handle that and just let him work through it, or just do you try to look at things on film that he might be able to improve? How do you go about
D'Angelo's an elite player in this league. He's confident. He doesn't need somebody to tell him, hey, you got to make more shots or anything like that, because he holds himself, to a high standard. And we'll continue to encourage, but we'll continue to do our film work. He's going to continue to work. I mean, he works, and he shot the other night after the game for a long time. I mean, he's his heart's in the right place. So I'm not concerned about D'Angelo, and I feel he'll be good moving forward.
On a team where at least 4 of the 5 starters and most of the roster was arguably better on offense and defense, is Josh your most reliable defender, do you think?
I'd say that's a fair assessment, and part of that being, that's a big part of Josh's DNA. That's what he's been coming into this league, and he's developed more offensively too, to become a more balanced player. So I think sometimes people don't talk as much about him defensively, but yeah, I mean, I'll say there were a lot of things that Josh did tonight that were good, I thought, on the defensive end especially, but I also thought offensively he was attacking. He made proper cuts, and then I liked the read he made when he made his 3.
That pick and roll defense he did, especially on the perimeter, it seems like he's able to either feint or guard one and then go to the other and at least close out to some extent. Is that mostly energy, just knowing the system better?
Yeah, it's both, but he has great energy. But it's also, understanding we want to create one-way closeouts, which is to start in to get out.
Right.
And he knows that. It's something we've been stressing. We stressed that last year, as the season went on, and so he knows that's in our DNA.